Gits, welcome back to Grom de Ponch's immense Mortal Empires campaign. And remember, we are wahing against the wood pointy ears so that we can steal the wood, build the ships, invade the pompous pointy ears across the ocean the way that old Blacktooth told us to. So we are in that process as we speak. There's still a lot of pointy ears in the woods, and we're going to have considerable work to do in order to rid ourselves of them. A couple of things. We've renamed the Waterfall Palace to the Golden Shower Shed. We've added a Gobbo Lumberjacks unit to commemorate the event of all the wood that was cut down when we destroyed Durthu. And then we have Dethicken's Troll by special request. If you want to request, make sure you get in those comments. His Immensity has read all the comments. They is immensely appreciated. And your feedback on how the Waagh will crush all the Gits around us is extremely important. So please continue to do so. We need to build up massive gut to its most massive form. As a greenskin stronghold, we almost have walls at de Ponch's peasant pot, and we're going to also throw in some idols to help with the obedience. Alright, as you can see, our Ord of Shiny stuff is growing. This is pretty good. We're going to go over here and attack Val's Anvil, but before we do, we have to kind of move in a raiding camp. Raiding our own lands, not going to be so helpful. I'll move underground. Oh, we're intercepted. Daith's army chooses to intercept us underground, and this is mistake number one for Daith.
Remember it!
So the battle under the Great Shower Shed is underway, and Daith has brought his pointy-eared forces against the Waagh of Grom, and I think we all know that Daith is in for a rude awakening of sorts. And it'll all start off with Grom not only being immense, but powering downhill where he'll be nigh unstoppable in terms of mass. So you can see him easily hacking his way through the loosely formed pointy ear troops. Must really suck to be a pointy ear in Athel Loren right now. There's lots of pointy things, but most of their ears are going to be removed from their head, and the pointy things are the stabbas that my Gobbos is bringing to the battle. No doubt Niblet likes this, as he gets to jeer on his lord from near impunity. And his lord will get a great many kills during this battle. You can see the Goblin Archos firing from above, and then the Trolls. And Defishy Tittlemuncha with her great carrion sack. Blacktooth's Revenge. Chasing away the pointy-eared archers, giving them a good clapping. And you'll see that basic pointy-ear strategy here is to run from the very outset of the battle. To run, run, run. They don't know what a scrap is. This is their idea of scrapping, but the boys don't appreciate it. They appreciate getting hands-on with the scrap. So that's pretty much it for Daith and his forces. They will continue to run and run, but there is no getting away. The Trolls, Grom's chariot, all of it is faster than they are, and despite their ability to turn around and shoot, and like here, Defishy Tittlemuncha will take a pretty savage beating, but she's built to take these kind of beatings. Does she look like someone who hasn't taken a few beatings from the ugly tree in life here? That's right. She doesn't care. She's been unleashing a little magic, too, to make the retreat of the elves a little more miserable. And at this point, it's just a full-on retreat, and really only a matter of time before the river trolls and others catch up and ensure that these elves aren't going anywhere without a proper crumpin'. I think the pointy ears is just a hair faster than the gobos, but they're definitely not faster than the trolls. It just takes some time to catch up, especially if they have Hagbane tips present, which I don't think any of these units... Well, yeah, there are some Hagbane tips, but they cannot fire 360. Go ahead and let you all see how this one ends up, but essentially we end up chasing the pointy ears all the way across the map. And I do mean all the way. Daith, meanwhile, was on the other side of the map and got routed by my Gobbo archers, and that's the end of his forces. And Daith learns that Grom is better than him. Better in every way. So his army's destroyed, leaves Val's Anvil with only the settlement garrison. Unfortunately, we can't replenish this turn, which is really a crying shame. Let's get this rattled effect for Grom. And then, let's see here. I mean, we already got the bag battering. Let's get the teach him right here for the fishy Tittlemuncha. And I think we's ready to end a turn. Once we spin some of our teeth, let's build up our horde, get some more obedience, put these teeth to use. We've found ourselves a shiny helmet, which always makes the boys happy. We've got limited time before we must be in control of the Great Tree, so we're gonna push the fight against the pointy ears and take another of their settlements right now. So the last tree gets of Torgavan is across from the Waagh, and Grom's axe is ready. His axe is ready. Niblet is cheering him on. The Nibleteers and all are ready for the Waagh. The only units that will slow down Grom even for a moment are the Treekin that Torgavan has in the middle, and Grom is just simply going to bypass them and go for the softer, squishier elven targets that he so thoroughly enjoys. It's like elf jelly. See the combo goblins and trolls rolling in extremely effective as usual. Be shredding through enemy units. I'm going to be using Doom and Darkness to help put a quicker route to enemies. Something that we haven't used a whole lot yet from Fishy Tittlemuncha, but a good use whenever there's less of a choke point to deal with. And our archers is going to work on clearing out the Treekin a little faster. Those units have higher armor and take a little bit more crumping before they decide they're going to run away. We got this giant tree git also. He'll be another one that requires some love from the Gobbo archers, but right now they're giving some love to the Glade Lord. And you can see that he doesn't really like all this attention. He's gone. Most of his army's gone. Already fleeing, and the pointy-eared archers will of course be running away for their lives, firing as they go, hopelessly attempting to do some damage to the Poncha's great Waagh. The tree man is beaten. He can no longer fight. He's attempting to run away, but the archers and everybody else have been making short work of him. So routed, just a couple of archers holding on, and they're all about to give way. It's really just Deepwood Scouts and Way Watchers that are always the last ones to go. But Torgavan is defeated. That's one less bunch of pointy ears to stand between Grom and the lumber he needs for the invasion fleet. Well, the Pointy Ears settlement is ours. We got a lot of teeth.
The conqueror.
Pointy-ear teeth are so nice. Make such good decorations. Such good decorations.
What's it broken? This is Grom the Pulse.
You all have to help me rename this anvil to whatever it is that you think we should. Slight upkeep reduction. But we're going to start off with the basics. We know we need idols. We know we need teeth. Lack of corruption. We don't have to worry about corruption here. See what else would be useful to us in these parts. I suppose we could just save the teeth and build the one that helps us have a little extra. Now, what are these peasants up to? Can't they mine their own? Don't they know the Waagh will find them? Find them it will. Let's see. Patchy to stabbing Gobbo. Make him even the best at stabbing there.
Grom the Pulse.
Get some obedience and growth. And it's time to end this turn and keep fighting the pointy-eared gits.
Your prestige grows, my lord.
My
Use
gut
of your
grows, you filthy chaos. Don't be talking to me. There's more peasant raiding in our lands. Those peasants think that they're hot snot, but the only reason they're acting that way is because we're not there. We're going to move towards the crag halls of Findal and see if we can get another scrap going. We'll enter a raiding camp to make up for some of the teeth that them peasants is stealing from the paunch. They'll wish that they had never stolen from the paunch.
Grom's happier in a cave.
That much will be obvious when this is all said and done. Massive gut is pretty well defended. Let's make it the best defenses. Orion the tree git thinks that retaking this other settlement's gonna help him. That's funny. These gits just really don't. They just raised their own tree. I guess DePoncha's great gut is having a warping effect on their brain. They tear down their own settlement.
Grom wants these trees stomped.
And these trees will be stomped, Mighty Grom. They will be stomped. We're not quite done replenishing yet,
Killable Grom.
but we can't give these gits time to replenish. We're gonna take the fight to them right away.
Grom always wins. Remember it.
It's a beautiful, picturesque scene outside the crag halls of Findal. The forces of Findal are arrayed against Grom's Waagh. Findal of Widrioth, his many elves and forest kin alike, arrayed to attempt to stop the greatest Waagh that the world has ever seen, and that Waagh is on the horizon. Now, Grom is a bit irritated. The boys had been saving up a great stink for many, many weeks, and that stink is now wasted because they've been forced to walk through these clean, elfly waters. Grom commanded his men to drop a lot of dung piles along the way to begin to convert this over to a more greenskin friendly environment. See the Pointy-Ears is working up a flank. Some Gobbos led by Patchy will go to face him, while the main force of the Pointy-Ears is going to get charged head-on by Grom in a choke point. Several of these choke points litter the map and separate different levels. So it will be a proper crumpin' up in the choke point, and obviously lots of opportunity for Fishy Tittlemuncha to be using some really good purple sun. You can see over here the Gobbo Archers is supporting Patchy and the boys. This will help against the Tree Man and the Tree Kin. Meanwhile, the aforementioned purple sun is unleashed upon the Pointy-Ears, causes great destruction. And Blacktooth's Revenge is never going to miss out on some elf crumpin' action. So he's been summoned and immediately starts to make his immense presence felt. And Grom really appreciates other things that are immense. Now, he is the most immense, but like I said, he has an appreciation of all things immense. See here the snotling pump wagons pushing their way through the pointy ears. And the fight is really getting going. On the other side, the treekin and many other units are being pushed back by Patchy and his goblins. You can see them fighting here. The Gobbo archers was being protected by Patchy from some Eternal Guard, and now they're going to push forward to finish off the tree man, who is putting up an annoyingly decent fight. All the archers will run away and stay run away. My archers, however, are going to remain busy getting rid of the tree man. This guy will make some really good lumber for the fight. May take a few arrows, but we'll soften him up. He'll get softened up real nice. So you can see the tree man is soon to be crumped, and Grom, taking almost no damage, having picked up about 100 kills, is slowly cutting his way in to the fortified elf position on top of the hill. See the pointy elf archer sitting back, desperately firing in. All of my troops regenerate though, and unless the archers are able to focus all of their efforts on single large units, it will be mostly for naught, because whatever they shoot individually will simply replenish. The magic resistance of my stone trolls comes in very handy against the treekin and tree men, as they'll be somewhat resistant to their attacks. But being a greenskin in general makes me somewhat resistant to the pointy ear attacks. Little Doom and Darkness is going to seal the deal here by Fishy Tittlemuncha, sending the pointy ears running. And the crag halls of Findal have fallen. You can see at the end of all these battles that it's just the pointy-eared archers that are running away, and the AI gets the benefit of not having army losses induced as quickly as a player would. But that's okay. Grom kind of enjoys the opportunity to get to axe more of these pointy ears a couple of questions. Of course, Grom axing questions isn't to be confused with chin wagon, otherwise known as talking, which is something he's less than familiar with. This is really how he handles diplomacy. Well, the tree gets is defeated, yet again. More teeth pulled to fill our coffers. And I wonder if Orion's gonna come raise this tree to the ground too, just to troll himself. I guess pun intended, since he's being attacked by a massive troll. Or, sorry, goblin, I guess. There are trolls in the army as well. Well, the fight against the forest will continue. We've got 9 turns to be in control of the Oak of Ages in order to claim our trophy, and we don't want to be late. Alright, with the crag halls in our control, I'm somewhat reluctant to spend money because Orion, as I mentioned, is likely to just tear down his former settlement. I mean, you wouldn't think that the Lord of the Woods would be tearing down the woods, but like I said, maybe the greatness of Grom has a warping effect on the twigs in his brain or something like that. I can't really figure out what it is, but it's something. It's something. Wow, this is like a secondary Waagh here. I'm gonna grab that one, and then we'll get Grom his gargantuan glutton here as well. And let's not forget the fishy Tittlemuncha, the immortal Tittlemuncha. I need aspect of Dread Knight. We've been fighting some battles where we can drop a Soul Blight. I think if we combine that with an aspect of the Dread Knight, it will be very effective. And then Patchy the Great Gobbo, the Stabbin' King. Let's see what we can give him next. Oof, we can make him even better at fighting. It's going to be all about stabbing to start with. I mean, he's going to be the stabber. We definitely want to unlock scrap upgrades for our trolls. Could be very important for him, so we're going to go trolling. And I believe that's all we need to do for this turn. And we're going to see what the pointy ears do next. Alright, we've made it through this turn, and although they're training another army at the big tree, I'm going to actually move towards Val's Anvil, and we're going to trap Orion over here. He's been weakened from settling the settlement that he tore down in his own foolish ideas of how to do things. There is no raiding income because Val's Anvil is so trashed from our previous activities, and it looks like the Bretonnian scum got the message about the Pontius peasant pot and learned to back off. And we can build up the Tittlemuncha's lair as well. Our trolls now be getting some nice scrap. Let's see here. Oof, I really want this. This is just fantastic. But we got to do some more work back here first, and it's gonna take a bunch of our... No, I don't know if it will take the scrap. Let's do this pull and teeth and see if we can unlock some of these and work our way towards the 10 scrap per turn. That would be a huge benefit to the Waagh. So Orion, the tree scum, decided to run. After tearing his settlement down, he resettles it and then decides to run. His immensity can't understand such foolish thinking because really when it comes to big thinking, it's all about scrapping. You either scrap or you don't scrap. That's all there is to it. The supposed great Lord of the Woods, Lord of the Wild Hunt, apparently enjoys raising his own forest settlements. So I guess that was his way of cleansing all the dung we left him. But yeah, Orion raising his own settlements, then leaving said settlement undefended, trying to escape, only to be caught by Grom de Ponch, who is quite familiar with the wily ways of these elves, whether it's underground or above the ground through the forest paths, or the wild paths here. They've been found, and these will be destroyed. The Gobbos is really, really looking forward to some stabbing. You can see the Azrae here arrayed. They brought their war dancers, what they think will be their most potent answers to the Waagh. Their reindeer riders, their dryads. Grom's great axe cares not. All of them can be chopped, and will be chopped. The supposed mighty Azrae easily brought down by Grom's Waagh. A Waagh that hasn't even reached full strength. It'll only be a fraction of what their pointy-eared cousins in Ulthuan will see. There'll be multiple Waagh armies, each supported by a Waagh army. Yes, the fight in Ulthuan will be even crazier. And Tor of Rest won't survive this time. No effort by Eltharion will be able to save it. In fact, we ended up with a pretty cool duel here. Grom pushing back some Dryads and dueling it out with Orion. Orion thinks he's a tough guy. May look like Mel Gibson. but he's no Mel Gibson. Look at Grom's immense weight pushing him around the battlefield. The rest of Orion's troops mostly have routed, just a few Deepwood scouts and Glade Guard running away that have yet to rout. And this will leave a duel between Orion and Grom. One that Orion won't win, despite him thinking he's the big tough guy. They kind of need to work on the animations, though, to be fair. I mean, I like the big meat leg animation, but Grom doesn't actually look like he's attacking Orion. Because the reach of the chariot is funny. They need to get him to, like, pull up next to Orion rather than just have the wolves bite him. Yeah, better if he'd pull up next to him and start swinging his axe. So hopefully something CA will improve, because it makes these type of duels somewhat anticlimactic. But I'll let you see, nevertheless, that Grom does indeed duel with and beat Orion. You can see he's just kind of swinging his axe a long way away. I did bring over Fishy Tittlemuncha, who actually threw up on Orion to finish him. I forgot to get back into a play there, but yeah, decided we would send Orion out in a puddle of puke. So hope you all enjoyed that. Well, the Tree King falls. The rest of his woodland lumberyard will soon go with him, no doubt.
Pointy ears ain't no challenge.
Now, I agree with Grom. Pointy ears ain't no challenge. It's an excellent point that he makes. We're gonna cut our way through these rebels.
Certainly not.
And then after having cut down the rebels, we'll move on to the Oak of Ages. We should be well within our capability to capture it prior to running out of time in our Waagh. I mean, we'll have time. Time aplenty. I do think we need to build a goblin toolbox. Probably be an appropriate building here. And we'll save some money to continue to build up our settlements. The crag halls of Findal. We could use some more treasure. We picked up some melee attack and leadership during forest battles. Now, I don't know how often we'll be fighting into forest, since really only pointy-eared gits hang out here, and it's not the lair of real warlords like Grom de Ponch. But, you know, we'll take whatever that git was leaving behind whenever we killed him. Patchy is indeed now the best stabba. Well, it looks like the pompous pointy elves here of Safari can't mind our own. They're coming after the Pontius peasant pot, which is decently guarded. They'll never get to Tittlemunch's lair or Massive Gut. So let's continue to wipe out these scum.
My world's gonna be Grom's. There's good eating. Whoever's there is dead.
Wood elves, he says they're good eating, but honestly, it's a little bit leafy for Grom's liking.
Not possible.
Definitely a little leafy.
Big as an orc.
He's gonna move up and raid the big tree in preparation for the final fight in order to complete the requirements of the Waagh. Yeah, there's this troll rogue idol buff here. We want this for our big thick boys. And it looks like Tittlemuncha can now finish off Doom and Darkness. And Apache can now work on, now that he is an expert stabba, now he can work on a little defense. But first things first, obviously. The pointy ears want to fight. They're going to do it outside the settlement. They've attacked me. We'll see how their foolish gambit goes here. The battle for the Oak of Ages is underway. The reinforcements of the pointy ears were coming in close to my deployment zone, so Grom's troops are going to pin them up against the wall and hit them with absolutely everything. And it's going to be a lot of pointy ears, so finally a proper scrap. The pointy ears won't have anywhere to run. They'll be forced to fight us, which is exactly the way that Grom likes it. You can see all their troops coming in as reinforcements, and it will be a massive scrap. Of course, this is the best kind of scrap for old Blacktooth's revenge, which has plenty of targets to go after here. Gonna get a little doom and darkness near old Blacktooth. See if we can get a chain route going on some of these pointy ears. The amazing thing is despite the doom and darkness, you can see that some of the Wood Elf units hardly lose any leadership at all. Still 60 leadership, even at a -16 and attacked in the back. Managed to drop it a little more, but it actually does not cause a chain route. So this fight ends up becoming longer and more frustrating than initially thought. And the reindeer boys start running around and threatening my archers. And a lot of my units is busy crumping elsewhere. So not a great situation for Grom. And finally Talzin putting up a proper fight after having been wrecked so many times before. You can hear the Wood Elves swearing vengeance, but we'll see who will actually get vengeance. See that Blacktooth's Revenge and the Stone Trolls putting up a massive slog there. And then to answer to Reindeer Boys, some Stone Trolls were pulled out of combat. Leave the Gobos to fight on their own so that my Gobbo archers can focus fire the Reindeer Boys and get rid of them once and for all. Because they are going to be a nuisance. In fact, my Gobbo archers is also being chased by another Reindeer Boy. So we have a lot of reindeer chasing us at the moment. Some of these are the reinforcements that deployed in the normal zone. And they've managed to come in behind me before my Waagh reinforcements can arrive here. You can see that the Pointy Ears has now brought in some Eternal Guard. And my Gobbo archer is feeling more and more pressure. We're not going to let these reindeer just sit here and run all over the Gobbos, though. They can help protect themselves, and you can also see the Tittlemuncha drops a pretty massive purple sun over here, killing a ton of elves on a flank that they were actually winning, and it's now turning against them. You can see that there's now War Dancers and Reindeer chasing the Gobbo archers, but we've got some goblins coming in to silence the War Dancers, and Patchy the Great Stabba has been dispatched to get rid of the reindeer. His spider will like the fresh meat and blood, no doubt, as he poisons each of them. And you can see the War Dancers now engaged with the pointy sticks of my Gobbos. At this point, the Gobbo archers is mostly safe, though they took a beating. Even more Gobbos have been dispatched from the main fight and now tied down the Eternal Guard, and the Stone Trolls are free to come crump the Reindeer and the War Dancers. Meanwhile, after freeing the Gobbo archers, they have been firing away at a Waystalker. And once the Waystalker dies, there'll be a significant loss of Glade Lord. It causes a leadership loss, and a massive crumpin is complete. Talzin falls, and the oak will be cut and burned for lumber. And the tree get crumped again.
Ooh, yeah.
Our replenishing is quite slow. I don't know how bad the garrison actually got damaged during that fight. Sometimes the AI gets all their units back near immediately, but it actually looks like they are still hurt rather badly, and our ability to take the oak is here. This is the opportunity, and we're going to strike.
Got it.
The last survivors of Talzin are arrayed before the Oak of Ages. Folks, just look at that. That'll make a mighty fine boat. It's even already got green coloring for the greenskins. It's like the oak wants to be cut down. Yeah, the last defenders of the Oak of Ages are desperate. They're tattered. Their forces were previously defeated. outside of the area and left decimated. Grom is already decimating their archers, though he won't have an easy time catching those horse ones. And then a purple sun forces back their few archers in the back even further. It is not a good situation for Talzin. The only reason they haven't completely crumbled already is that a few of their units is holding out here. There's also several branch wraiths that are really propping up the balance bar, which again, you would think at this point that it would just be army losses, but the balance bar is going to hang in there, I guess, just to prolong the suffering of the pointy years, because you can see that they are well and truly defeated. 3 branch wraiths and a glade lord will be absolutely no match for the crumping that is inbound. See, there is a tree man aiming for some of my troops in the back. At this point, the Gobbo archers are ripping straight through the Glade Lord, intentionally trying to drop the power bar and put an end to this battle quickly. Gobbos don't have any predeterminations with anything wrong about picking off an enemy lord. Honor doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is the size of the dung heap you leave on the battlefield after you're victorious. The fishy Tittlemuncha gets ganged up here by 3 branch wraiths and starts to take a beating, so Grom's gonna come in to help answer. And then more units will come up to help get rid of these branch wraiths. Doesn't stop her from giving them a good sack battering, but she will actually be driven back here in a moment because of the 3 branch wraiths focus firing her here. See Patchy to Stabba in here, giving the pointy ears a proper stabbing. And now the spiky rollers have arrived as well, which do a nice job of taking down the armor of the branch wraiths. So Fishy retreats momentarily to regain her beauty, while the branch wraiths is mowed over. Well, the great tree is ours. There will be lumber for the fleet. Lumber aplenty. We'll make fine scrap boats and sail straight through the mist of Everest to take on our enemies. We need to take a turn, finish the King's Glade, retake Val's Anvil, and then this stinky forest will be ours permanently. Just do a little bit of improving here. The boss approves.
Orc Slayer.
Our pacified oak. Look at this. We got 100 logs for timber. That's what I'm talking about, folks. That's how it's done. Now, as for the boss, we're gonna get our pump wagons some perfect vigor. Seems appropriate for the boss's army. He doesn't have enough pump wagons right now, though. But hey, at least the Kraken wagon, will be even more Kraken than previous. We're gonna unlock Blade Master for Grom. And then go over to the fishy Tittlemuncha, who took a bit of a beating from all those branch wraiths, but nothing that a good old sack battering couldn't fix. And Patchy is now the immortal Stabba. No other stabbing will even be memorable.
You got Grom's way. Get out of it.
Now this is funny. The Git Belagar declaring war on me with his metal-faced ally. Come get crumped. Alright, we's gonna reach out and destroy the King's Glade. I don't know who the king is, but his glade sucks, and it's ours now.
This is...
So we have a lot of places that I need you all to rename. Crag Halls, Oak of Ages, Kingsglade, and soon Val's Anvil. And look at this, DePonch's Peasant Pot. There's a plague. How convenient. Time to help the AI draw down my numbers. What kind of numbers do they have anyway? To deal with 2 eagles. I'm just going to stay inside my walls. We'll hold out for Grom's reinforcements. We've got a lot of scrap. It's probably time to scrap up our trolls. See what's available. We can get a liquor flask to give extra leadership or increased weapon strength. I'm going to go with the weapon strength for the swamp things. Yeah, I kind of just want weapon strength on all of them. Leadership's going to be just fine with Grom around. Really no need for anything else. We're going to need more scrap to get these boys upgraded, but our trolls is going to be hitting real hard, folks. Real hard.
Grom's way. Get out of it, or else.
Look who comes begging for peace now that he's got his face pounded in. Well, we get to build up the Kingsglade into the Waagh Glade, or whatever you all decide to name it, here soon. It's safe for now. I'll build more over time. Our pile of teeth is growing fast, and Val's Anvil lies in sight for the next turn, which should be the finishing of all things Wood Elf.
What you got to offer, Grom, then?
More stunted Git is declaring war on me. Boys, we're going to have a lot of scraps going on. It is going to get busy up in here.
Grom's happier in a cage.
Well, it's time to finish off the woods. Val's Anvil is in sight. The tree Git is back, but it matters not. He's gone now, and gone permanently. That's the end of his faction. We've got a Seed of Rebirth on Grom. Wow. Grom is gonna really replenish quickly at this point. And we should be able to swing over to the Pontius Peasant Pot on the next turn and try pacifying these peasant gits who just won't leave us alone. Some of the cash we have probably won't hurt to build up Massive Gut. Let's build up our Goblin Tinkering bench. And as far as big thinking goes, a magic item drop chance increase is always good, and then we'll work on Beyond Counting, work our way over here towards some real good big thinking. Well, the Pointy Ears is attacking us at the Pontius Peasant Pot, so we're going to have to put him down. The Pontius Peasant Pot still needs some redecorating. Really looks very peasanty still, but I guess that's maybe what they want. It is actually a custom map, which is pretty cool. You can see that the Pointy Ears from Ulthuan are going to attempt to enter the Peasant Pot, which is now heavily fortified. The Ponch will not be losing said pot again. And he doesn't intend to today. The boys is manning the walls, and any Pointy Ear that approaches will be given a proper welcome. Already, the leftover towers from the peasants is being used to bombard their troops. You can see the ornate battering rams of the Pointy Ears. They're going to need more than that to get through. Speaking of, what was with that balance bar anyway? How are a few Shadow Warriors and Lions and stuff supposed to do anything against all the Pointy Ears, or sorry, all the boys and all the towers and walls? Not likely. The War Lions will soon be food. Their delicious meat being added to the menu, no doubt.
We are the Assa!
The Lions are going to try and claw their way through the gate, I guess, while they're waiting. on the arrival of the battering rams. We're not going to make the elves wait and use the battering ram. My boars and trolls will soon charge out. And meanwhile, the towers of the pointy ears have arrived, and my boys are on the wall ready to greet them and welcome them to the Pontius peasant pot, where we'll now be making pointy ear stew. Meanwhile, a couple of great eagles from the elves have been unleashed, and will certainly be after my archers, but too little too late. The lions battering the gate are now taking a battering themselves with a giant club, and are going to be driven back. You can hear the birds up here attacking the archers. Really don't have an answer to this at the moment, but if anything, I guess it just makes the pointy ears feel better about themselves since they've gotten crumped so many times. Like, so many times. Even here, their lions are getting vomited on, kicked, and clubbed. And now my troops are beginning to break out. They're going to stop the rams and beat down the life mage, who so pompously and arrogantly thinks that she can take over the Pontius peasant pot just because it's a minor settlement. Typical for the AI, though. Minor settlement syndrome. She will be beaten down and destroyed. And meanwhile, the fight on the walls does not go any better for the pointy ears. The biggins guarding the peasant paunch, or the Pontius peasant pot, will not be daunted by a couple of men dressed in lion skins. But, you know, they do have some nice shiny stuff that can be turned into scrap when this battle's over. And for that, I appreciate the pointy ears bringing so much scrap willingly to me. We need fuel for cooking and scrap for the upgrades. So the elves have very kindly donated to the cause, regardless of whether they know it. That fight will be over soon, and meanwhile, the life mage was able to complete her utter beatdown. See that over here. Absolute troll stomp over here. Kicking, clubbing, vomit. The life mage is green, but no longer green to signify her life magic, but green because of being covered in troll vomit. Yeah, I don't know how else they thought that was going to end. The eagles will come down to fight and be snuffed out, and the last remnants on the walls are being crushed. There's nothing left. The pointy ears are defeated, and the Pontius peasant pot will not be touched. Well, the Pontius peasant pot will not be under new management. Not by any stretch. Another git killed in battle, another new ingredient discovered. And speaking of new ingredient, the pot is empty. And it'd be time to do some more cooking. Lion meat. Gamey, but tasty. Only find fresher on Pointy Ed Island. Let's see what the lion meat does. Speed for cavalry and squig units. Meh. It may be tasty, but it's not really appealing to the Great Paunch at the moment. We have a lot of gits who have declared war with us, including the smelly stunties to our north. Now, obviously, anti-infantry ammunition would be quite good. We've already cooked that. But this harpy heads could be a nice replacement to try something new here. And I just love me some regeneration. It's still Misty Mountain broth, but that regeneration is just so hard to pass up. Obedience in all provinces. Siege holdout time. Monstrous disease for troll and giant units. That could be a nice new try. Let's try something new. Nuggets and slime, boys. Nuggets and slime it is. Let's see what this passive ability is. It won't lay it out for me right now, so I'm not sure, but we're gonna cook up some nuggets and slime and have some fun here, cooking something new with the Great Paunch. So the boys is having nuggets and slime.
The punch.
And it looks like it gives the burnt imbue to enemies. It's actually really good. -8 leadership, and combine that with Doom and Darkness. We may not be regenerating as Gobos, which is unfortunate, but it'll still be very good what we're going to get out of it. And it looks like the Stunties is already jealous of our new Wood Kingdom, and they've sent some sacrificial Stunties here.
Grom wants these trees.
Alas, your Waagh has failed, my lord. You did not conquer your target's capital in time, so the mobs have dispersed. There will be no
What?
trophy this time. So now, you must gather your destructive momentum once again.
Huh? What do you mean I didn't What? What are you talking about? I didn't capture the capital city.
To conquer the world.
Towson was destroyed. I was in possession of the Oak of Ages. Very confused. Very confused indeed. This is so weird. We got the lucky banner, which was only going to be obtained if the Waagh was successful, but we didn't get the trophy because it said the Waagh was not successful. This looks like some kind of glitch. Grom is going to report this one to CA, and definitely some CA pleas here. Gonna kick these Stunties out of our woods, and I will see you all on the next episode. I need you to name our settlements. I need you all to write some angry notes about what happened with our Waagh in a tasteful greenskin-like manner. And anyway, I will see you and his great immensity on the next episode. Hope you all enjoyed this one.